That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is Commissioner Cooper. And if you take a look around, there's no Fantasy Jesus, no Jester, no Flanders tonight. But that's okay. It's Friday night, and I got some friends accompany me tonight. And what they're here to do is help you win your playoff matchup this weekend. So sit back, relax, let yourself go. It's TJIF with TSS. Let's get it.
3, 2, 1.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is Commissioner Cooper, and it's time for TSS Fantasy. Boom.
That's what it is.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's what it is.
Boom.
Yeah.
Fantasy Jesus,
Boom.
I'm here to save this fantasy roster.
Boom.
Fantasy Jesus, it worked for The Rock and it's gonna work for me.
Yeah.
Boom. TSS Fantasy. Boom.
Yeah.
TSS Fantasy. Boom.
And you just got Flanders.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is Commissioner Cooper, and it's time for TSS Fantasy.
And you just got Flanders.
That's what it is.
Boom.
Yeah.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the building tonight, and like I said, we are here to win you your playoff matchup. My boys are here. Let's get the introduction started. None other than the judge himself, Jordan Thomas, is in the building from True Serum Football. Welcome into the building, sir.
I've always wanted to do this. Yeah!
Yeah, I should have set that up prior. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's perfect. Appreciate that. That's the way to bring that energy in, even though the Jester ain't here. All right, let's also welcome in Chris to the studio from Patriot Sports Radio. These two are the tag team reigning fantasy champions. Welcome into the studio, my friend.
What's up? How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing good, man. We're doing good. We appreciate you being in, man. It's Friday night, and we are feeling all right. I know you as well, right?
Got to defend that belt. Hell yeah, I'm excited. Been thinking about it all day.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's also welcome in. He's no stranger to the studio. Ilio from Average Joe Sports Podcast. Welcome into the studio, my friend.
What is up, everybody? Ready to go? Psych. Trying to get these fake paper champs out of the way real quick. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. And I do recall when we did our Fantasy Jeopardy, you said in particular, I totally recall this, that you were ready with all these stats. And, you know, when I brought the Thanksgiving questions, so I said, all right, you're going to have you on Fantasy Feud. You're here tonight. I'm excited to have you in. You got a great tag team partner, too. This is Dave Fantasy. He's a podcaster. He's a writer. He does it all. Welcome into the studio, my friend.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. It's good to be here.
We appreciate you guys being in here. All right, like I said, we got a lot to get into tonight. Don't forget, if you're watching on any other means of YouTube, hit us up on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. We are giving away it's the Jester sack, if you will, but it's a Damian Harris signed jersey. It's a Jameson Williams signed jersey. It's Andre Reed from back in the day signed jersey. It's a CJ2K signed jersey and a Jerry Judy signed helmets, all in this big old sack waiting to go. Hit the subscribe button. Christmas is next week, guys. You got to get on it. We're here for you. We are the fantasy show of the people. Let's get started with some news. Good evening, Albert, to you as well, my friend. Appreciate you stopping in tonight once again. All right, let's get it started in the news. There happened to be a game last night. I don't know how much of a game it was. It was just kind of much bore fest. Pretty much the whole game, a domination by the 49ers. Defense is solid. I think everyone can agree with that. The stats last night, Purdy, 217, 2 TDs. Okay night. So if you had to start him or stream him, you did okay. You know, you're not excited. You did, yeah, pretty good. Like it's not bad. Yeah, you're rocking with Brock, as they say, right? Christian McCaffrey, though, if you started him, however, you're feeling nice tonight. 108, 1 TD, 6 receptions, 30 yards. Big day for him. George Kittle, gotta love that big tight end production. When you look across that fantasy roster, you see that tight end scoring, you're loving life. So he had a big night. 108, 1 TD. Geno Smith had an off night last night. 238, 1 TD. I've been calling on this. Apparently, I thought he's had an off night for the last 3 weeks, and Justin keeps schooling me that it didn't happen. Well, finally, Justin, it happened. I called it. Kenneth
They ain't
Walker,
winning.
Kenneth Walker had a decent night last night. Thankfully, because of a big reception towards the end, or it might have been a dreadful night for him. He had 4 receptions for 32 yards and 47 yards on the ground with only 12 carries. Tyler Lockett went out last night with a broken hand. His season might be over, so that kind of sucks for him. And he was very limited last night. 7 carries, 68 yards. Metcalf as well, 7 receptions. Same with Metcalf, but he only had 55 yards. And Noah Fant, I made fun of Justin last night because he was saying to sit Noah Fant, and I was saying no one's going to start him. Well, if you did, you did all right. He had 5 receptions, 32 yards, and a touchdown. You actually did all right. All right, so we'll just go around real quick, round robin. Jordan, what say you? What are your thoughts on last night's game?
Pretty much panned out just how I expected it to, other than it was real nice to see George Kittle get in the end zone. Other than that, Brock Purdy did just enough, and that tailspin for Seattle continues to go.
And yes, indeed, they are Mayday. Mayday is the word for them. Chris, what say you?
Well, I had San Francisco +3 and the under. So cash. And I parlayed it.
Yeah.
So boom. That was exactly what I thought it was going to be. Bosa happened to Geno Smith last night, and Brock Purdy was playing like a Big 12 defense at Iowa State with Kittle's out there, nobody around him for 20 yards. I mean, it was ridiculous. But yeah, that's about that's what we had predicted. Indeed.
What say you, my friend Elio?
I'm telling you, man, the Seahawks were definitely smelling what the Brock was cooking last night, and that was a complete he actually is doing what he's supposed to be doing, not making any mistakes. Debo's out, so guess what? Those targets are going to go to Kittle, nice safety blanket. And look, I also like Chris over there. I did a parlay. I took the money line and the under on that game also. So it was a good night overall, not just for San Francisco.
If you smell what the Brock is cooking, I absolutely love it. What say you, Dave? What were your thoughts?
Man, I like that Chris brought up Nick Bosa, because when he was rushing, he was so low. He was like parallel to the ground. I mean, just they couldn't stop him. There was nothing they could do. And yeah, I'm with you guys all on Kittle. It was great to see him have a big game. Big splash in the tight end position there.
Yeah, whoever's having that on a Thursday night, boy, you're feeling mighty nice going into your matchup. Dynasty Bruce, thank you for shouting out and not being on the show, but at least watching, you lame ass. All right, let's get on to the other part of the news. Mike White, unfortunately, is out. So I know that was a big news for some of us on our DFS lineups this week. Yeah, there was quite a few of you. So that's why it was really funny. I was like, man. So yeah,
90% of the country had a lot of the individuals that were removed from the lineup on there.
Exactly. Everyone was thinking, and again, a great matchup. So, of course we're going to have them in for sure. Damian Pierce is out this week. I mean, again, I don't know. He's been great all season long. I'm not really sure if I'm looking to any of the backups because we just don't know how this is going to go in this platoon type situation. So maybe Rex Burkhead has one of those games, but are you really starting Rex Burkhead in your playoff matchup? I don't think so. Nico Collins and Brandon Cooks are out, and that's only important because of Chris Moore, and we're going to talk about all that later. So just to note that Tyler Lockett, I mentioned earlier, could be out for the season. So that was just something else to note. So other than that, that's pretty much it in the news. Let's get on with our big week breakdown. And we got our friend tonight already in the building. BXB Videos mentions the Niners are celebrating violence. Boy, them Niner fans feeling mighty swole today. I had a lot of them talking. Listen, and I wanted to say real quick too, my biggest takeaway from last night is Shanahan is one hell of a coach, bro. That's all I got to say. Like, one hell of a coach. Very impressed with him and the way this team is constructed. And, it's basically the New England Patriots almost, it feels like. All right, let's get on. Jordan, we'll start with you. Colts at Vikings. Colts against fantasy QBs, they're 13th against running backs, 25th. Receivers, they're number 2 in the league, 8th against tight ends. Vikings 27th against fantasy QBs, 19th versus running backs, 31st against receivers, and 21st versus tight ends. Give me some guys you like and don't like in this matchup.
So nothing flashy in this matchup. The usual suspects. Obviously, you're starting Justin Jefferson. I'm definitely rolling back out Kirk Cousins after his big week last week. I'm starting TJ Hawkinson. I do think it's going to be a pretty big workload for Dalvin Cook this week, who almost had a stinker last week, but luckily was able to salvage it. But the Colts can't stop the run. I think he's going to run it down their throats all game. I think Minnesota is going to come into this game with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder after getting embarrassed by Detroit. On the other side, Indianapolis, I mean, really, it's Michael Pittman all day on that matchup. You said the 31st ranking against the wide receivers. They're 30th in DVOA versus the short game, which is where Michael Pittman eats. Matt Ryan posting a 6.6 average depth of target in the last month. Michael Pittman written all over it. I feel like you're probably starting Jonathan Taylor because you don't have a better option, but I'm not real confident about him in this matchup.
All right. So also now again, normally we do our Sunday show, we do our pick'em stuff. So I'm gonna give you a couple little stats and just ask your just go around quick. Just give me your winner. The Colts actually lead the series between these two, 18-7-1. The Colts have actually won 5 in a row against the Vikings. Last time they played was 2020, and they won 28-11. Vikings are favored by 4.5, and the over/under is 48.5. Jordan, who's your winner?
Minnesota Vikings all day.
Chris?
Minnesota.
How about you, Elio?
Minnesota.
Dave?
Shit.
Yeah, make it a full agreement here for Minnesota.
A full house. The boys agree. It's all Minnesota for us as well. All right, let's go on to the next matchup for Chris here. We got the Ravens at the Browns. This is an interesting matchup, I think, for a couple of these guys. For Ravens, 22nd against fantasy QBs. They're 6th against running backs. They're 26th against receivers, 20th against tight ends. The Browns, 10th against QBs, 30th against running backs, 19th against receivers, and 7th versus tight ends. Chris, give me some guys you like and don't like.
Well, I guess we're going to start Dobbins and Gus Edwards. Dobbins is close to 100%, but not there yet. Backup QB in, they'll probably run a lot. Mark Andrews has not been good, but obviously you have to start him. I mean,
he's due. He is due.
Yeah. Like, thanks, Jordan. I wouldn't stream. Likely here, Ravens allow over 40 receiving yards per game since week 7. Hunt is a flex option. Donovan Peoples-Jones is Watson's new Will Fuller. He's a WR2. Cooper has 7 games, over 30% target share. Start Njoku, but temper expectations. Watson is a little has been a little better each week, and I mean that's what he's been doing. So if he builds on that, Peoples-Jones might have a day.
Yeah, I'm in the middle here because I feel like Watson could have a sneaky good game in this matchup. And you're talking about Dobbins and Edwards. I think Dobbins, how well he's running against this 31st ranked defense against running backs, could have a phenomenal day. So a very interesting matchup for sure. But let's go to the winner column. By the way, weather, 39 degrees for that matchup. Overcast. The winds are 14 miles an hour for the matchup right now anyway. Ravens lead the series. It says, well, I don't think I wrote it down correctly because I have 10-6, so that's definitely not right. But the last time they played was this year. Obviously, they won 10. The Ravens won 10-9, believe it or not. That's what a great fantasy matchup that was. The Browns were the Browns are favored in this matchup by 3, and the over/under for the whole matchup is 37.5. So, fellas, Jordan, what say you? Who's the winner?
I'm going with Baltimore. They have found a way week after week to get it done. I think they do it again this week. I do agree with Chris, though. I think Deshaun Watson's gotten a little bit better each week, and he's going to have a game sooner rather than later.
Chris, who's your winner?
Baltimore, and go ahead and put 3 units on it.
Whew. How about you, Elio?
Yep, Deshaun is not going to be this week, so definitely go to Baltimore. I think that defense is sneaky good, and it's going to be a low-scoring game and a very, very long time of possession with Baltimore running the crap out of the ball.
Are you in agreement, Mr. Dave?
Yeah, we're doing it again, man. 4 in a row. That Baltimore defense is getting increasingly ferocious, especially after the acquisition of Roquan Smith. I just think they're going to get the job done, and these AFC North games are traditionally kind of ugly, like you were mentioned, the 10-9 one. So I think it's going to be a low scoring affair, but I think they're going to get the job done.
Well, crazy enough, we don't think you guys know what you're talking about because we all went with the Cleveland Browns in this matchup. We all are loving the Brownies in this one. You never know. Hey.
You always go against that 6-pack Joes when the scarps are on Baltimore, obviously.
Let's go to Elio for the game of the century. America's team, the Miami Dolphins, are going to Orchard Park to visit the Buffalo Bills. The Dolphins, I'm sorry, I'm going on to the run. Yeah, Dolphins against fantasy QBs are 29th, womp womp. Against running back 17th, against receivers 17th, against tight ends, they are 30th. The Bills, number 6 against QBs, number 9 against running backs, number 21 against receivers, and they're 3rd against tight ends. Elio, guys you like and don't like.
Man, it's one of those games where the temperature is going to suck. It's going to be wet. It's going to be cold. It's going to be windy. It's not good for Miami, put it that way. The Bills are made in this weather. I mean, I don't know if you guys ever been to Buffalo, but it sucks living in Buffalo this time of year because you can't even go outside. But anyway, look, I'm definitely, number one, I'm going to start with QBs. I'm Allen on this one, definitely fading Tua. He's been having a couple of bad games, and that's not going to change. The weather's not going to help him. They're still going to stack the middle. They're going to keep doing the same thing they've been doing the last couple of weeks to get him, out of his comfort zone. Allen is built for this kind of weather. His arm is built for this kind of weather. And look, he's scored 4 rushing touchdowns in the last 4 games or 5 games. He's probably their best running back. They're probably going to run the ball more than passing it, but I think play action is going to take into place, and there's going to be some breakdown plays that he may rush for 60 or 70 yards in this game, running one in. Position players, I'm going to stick with Diggs because, it's Josh Allen, and that's going to be his guy. Miami's going to have a tough time I think both teams are going to have a hard time defending the secondary, all right? But I think Miami's receiver, as good as they are, Waddle and Hill, are not going to have a good game as well. So if I need to pick a Miami player, I'm probably going to stick with Hill.
All right, I don't know why I chose you to break that game down. All right, let's go on to the regular game itself. The Dolphins, now I wrote this one down apparently. Dolphins are 62-54-1 all time against the Buffalo Bills. Last time they played, obviously September, where it was too high for your Buffalo Bills, and the Dolphins won 21-19. The weather for this matchup, from what I wrote last, it was 24 degrees, and it says mostly cloudy with no participation at that time. So this is what I mean, getting so many conflicting reports. Some are saying it's going to be like 4 to 6 inches, Who cares? We ain't scared. I don't really care. Jordan, who's your winner?
So there is going to be some precipitation, all right, and it's going to be the tears of the Bills fans as America's team goes into Buffalo and goes 2-0 on the season against their division rivals, Buffalo Bills.
All right. My chest out. All right. What do you say, Chris?
Buffalo -7, 2 units.
All righty. Indeed. Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot to. Yeah, that's what they had. And over under, sorry, it's 45 for that one. Elio, what do you say?
Yeah, I got to go with Buffalo on this one. I think Jordan was talking about the Dallas Cowgirls as America's team. He got confused when he's saying they're going 2-0 against the Bills. But definitely Buffalo, man. I think just like Miami had their home turf in September and Buffalo was gassed, I think the script's going to change here as they're going into their home turf with their weather. I think that's definitely Buffalo.
I'm calling the governor in to kick your ass out of Miami. What say you, Dave?
I'm going Buffalo too. Yeah, I think it's going to be a mess with the weather, obviously, and I think that's going to be a big factor for Miami. Basically, exactly what Elio said. They're going to have a hard time throwing the ball, and that spells doom for the Dolphins' offense.
Well, the rest of the crew seems to agree with you guys, but not me. I'm the lone wolf in this matchup. Oh, let's go Miami Dolphins, America's team. We're going to take this one home for Tua. All right, let's go. Next matchup, Dave, let's go to you. Eagles at the Bears. The Eagles, they're second against fantasy QBs. They're 15th versus running backs, 7th versus receivers, and 10th versus tight ends. The Bears side, 18th against QBs, 29th against running backs, 11th versus receivers, and 6th versus tight ends. Give me some guys you like and don't like.
Well, I think the obvious one is Jalen Hurts. You got to like Jalen Hurts in this one. It sets up well for him. So I'm definitely wanting to play him and his receivers. I would go with both of them. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith should both have good days here against the Chicago defense. It's kind of hard to find Bears to like in this. One of the main reasons being not hardly any of them are healthy, but this Eagles defense is for real too. I mean, they can be had a little bit against the run. That's sort of their weak point. So I would still be good playing Dave Montgomery. And, if you've been relying on Justin Fields, you're going to continue to rely on Justin Fields. He's going to get the job done with his legs. But they are going to have a hard time throwing the ball because nobody's healthy in their pass game. Mooney's on IR. Claypool's going to miss this game. So I don't want any of the Bears pass catchers. I'm not going to take a chance on an Equanimeous St. Brown or anybody like that, So that's basically where I'm at. I'm also liking Miles Sanders in this one. He's been scoring some touchdowns as of late, and so I would take my chances with Miles Sanders.
Yeah, it's a good matchup for him. So it kind of makes me a little wary of Jalen Hurts in this matchup because, if they get up early, how much are they going to utilize Jalen in that offense? So they might just be a big Miles Sanders day. We'll see how it plays out. I know I'm a big Jalen Hurts guy, and this is the playoffs, so please keep it going. I appreciate it. All right, Jordan, let's go to you. Falcons at Saints. This one could be at least fantasy relevant, interesting. Falcons 24th against fantasy QBs, 22nd against running backs, 28th against receivers, 15th versus tight ends. Saints 19th versus QBs, 12th versus running backs, 18th versus receivers, and 4th versus tight ends. Guys you like and don't like.
This was the grossest matchup on the card, and I was really sad to get it, if I can be honest. Just looking at this, it's like Chris Olave and a whole lot of ooh. And then on the other side, if you're feeling confident about rolling out Drake London at this point, man, more power to you. I love the kid. I love the talent, and thank God we get a little bit of Desmond Ridder this week to at least see if that can shake some shit up in Atlanta. But I'm really trying to avoid this game at all costs.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree 100%. I mean, there's a couple of little, intrigues like the Saints defense is kind of intriguing in this matchup. So, again, like you said, Chris Olave, Alvin Kamara, though, I think, too, should have a decent setup for a decent game. So,
should, but he's been terrible.
He has been. Agreed.
And it's the playoffs.
I feel you. But the matchup is so juicy. Like, he would definitely be at the very least a flex play. And I think that's, sure. And wow, I can't believe I'm even saying that. All right, listen, let's take a break from the game breakdown and let's get what we're here for. It's time for the Tag Team Championship titles to go on the line tonight. Fantasy Feud time. Let's get it on.
Brad?
Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson. It's going to be a long game.
So the tag rules tonight will be, oh my bad. He got his robe on tonight, Blue. He's ready. Elio got the hoodie on. Mama said knock you out. Let's get this thing started tonight. The tag team rules are simple. I'll call you by name, one representative from each team to start the round up. Whoever thinks that know the answer, just announce their name, and that way I'll call on you to respond. If you win it as long as you get a correct answer, you win it for your side. You guys will go back and forth, try to close out the round. If you don't close it out, the other side gets a chance to win it. You got 3 strikes per the usual, like Family Feud, kind of the same deal. All right, let's get this thing going tonight. Let's start it out with the oldest rivalry in the internet lately. It's Jordan versus Elio in round 1. Let's get it started. We're going to go right to the QB position, and let's go to fantasy points. And what I want to know from last week is and the top 5 answers are on the board. What I want to know is from last week, I want the top 5 QBs and fantasy points scored inside the 20 last week. Elio.
Inside the 20? Oh, shit. I should listen to the question. Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence. Elio on his game tonight. That's numero uno, 15.4 in the red zone last week. All right. You got it for your team. Dave, you got one?
I was going to go with Trevor Lawrence. How about Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts. This is when this gets fun. All right, Elio, what say you?
You destroyed my Giants yesterday, man. How come that guy not be there? Let me see. Let me see. We got Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert. Not inside the 20. All right, Dave.
Wow, I'm trying to think of who ran one in. I don't know. Joe Burrow.
Joe Money Burrow.
I have never heard someone say so many wrong things, one after the other, consecutively in a row.
Okay, a lot of meat on this bone. Chris and Jordan, do you guys have an answer?
All right, Chris, this is going to sound crazy, but I'm 1,000% sure that Russell Wilson is somewhere on this list.
Go ahead, sorry.
That's what I was going to say.
Did he just say, let's ride?
Let's ride.
Russell Wilson is on this list. He's number 3, 10.9 last week. And man, Elio, you should be ashamed of yourself. Daniel Vanilla Vic Jones is number 2 on this list with 11.1. Number 4, Ryan Tannehill, 9.8. And number 5, Geno Smith, 9.0. If you don't know, now you know. You guys are nice and warmed up now, all right? So we got Chris and Dave going up for round number 2. We're going to go to running backs here, and I'm going to go right back to that red zone. And we're going to last week, and I'm looking for top 5 answers on the board. Running backs with the most yards in the red zone in week 14.
Eckler.
You're supposed to say your name first, man.
Oh, whoops, Chris. I advised Eckler. So
Austin Eckler is tied with 2 others, but they have him listed as number 2 with 17 yards. All right, so you got it for your squad. Jordan, you got another one.
Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard. Man, it's too dark out here. Not on the list. Chris, what say you?
I want to say, who's that dude that balled out the other? Oh my God, Samaje Perine.
Samaje Perine. There's some meat here, Jordan. You going to give him the meat back? What you got?
Derrick Henry.
Derrick the King Henry. Gotta be down with the Queen. He was number 1 with 20 yards in the red zone. So you got number 1 and number 2 on the list. Chris, you got number 3, 4, 5.
Walker.
Kenneth Walker. Dave and Ilio, you got some meat here. Do you know 3, 4, and 5? Again, I'm looking for yards in the red zone for a running back last week in week 14.
I got to guess, but it's a long shot.
You can talk to your partner. That's allowed.
All right. How about Jerick McKinnon?
Jerick
Good answer.
McKinnon.
I thought for sure
Sorry,
that was
my-
going to be on there, man. McKinnon was
I thought
dynamite
it
last
was.
week.
I was going to
Sorry,
say
my
this.
friend. He had a great week last week, but apparently not in the red zone. Number 3 on this list, Zonovan Knight. He had 17 yards, tied with Austin Eckler. The other one tied with Austin Eckler, you were close earlier, Ezekiel Elliott. He had 17 yards in the red zone. Damian Pierce actually rounded out the list at number 5 with 16 yards in the red zone. All right, so the tag team champs are up 2-0. This is like crucial time now. This is gonna be their special move in a minute if you guys don't get this one out. All right, so we're gonna go Elio versus Chris. So we'll mix it up a little bit for the third round. All right, we're gonna go to defense here. Let's see how much you guys know your defense at all. So we're looking at the red zone, and I'm looking at the last 3 games, and I'm looking at the best percentages of defenses that hold. I said this. I wrote this down all miscombobulated, so I'm trying to like enunciate it. So I'm looking for in the last 3 weeks the best red zone defenses percentage wise, and that's against touchdowns only.
Good luck.
Kansas City.
Yeah.
The Kansas City Chiefs.
So the last 3 weeks.
Last 3 weeks, yes, sir.
There's only 31 more answers, Elio.
I
You
know.
got this.
Hey, that's right.
It goes to us? Oh, my bad.
Say
My
again?
bad. It goes to us. My bad. I'm going to say Philadelphia Eagles.
Good guess, but no. We're going back to
Dallas?
Chris.
Oh,
Back to me.
Oh,
gotta
my
be
bad. You're right. Go back to Jordan. My bad.
Dallas?
Dallas Cowboys. We got him stump on the defense. Dave, what say you?
Well, I'm kind of cheating because I think it's what Albert just said here in the chat, but the 49ers?
Yeah, it's
Albert said, my bad. My bad, Albert. I didn't see the chat. But guess what, Albert? You're still wrong.
Albert's our manager.
All right. Thanks, Albert. Chris,
Setup.
Chris, what say you?
Oh, fuck.
Don't get this right, Chris.
messed it up. So
Don't
I
get
got
it right. Miami Dolphins.
Oh, America's
Yes.
team? Nah, I'm just messing with you. I wish.
Oh, that was awesome.
By the way, in our comments, Derek, we will get to this in a second. We're just playing a game. I'll get to we'll get to your stardom question in a second. All right, so let's go. We're back to Elio. All right, we're gonna get an answer right or what?
I think so. The Ravens.
Baltimore Ravens. Wow.
You watch his
All
defense, man.
We're really bad at this.
Jordan?
Hail Mary time. Let's go. Houston Texans.
Yes.
Wow, you guys.
Just go the
are awful.
opposite. Love that answer.
Elio. All right,
right.
my bad. Dave.
Hey, Dave, come on, man.
This has got to be wrong, but
Doesn't matter, right?
I remember all these touchdowns being scored from far away. So how about the Pittsburgh Steelers? They've given up a lot of long touchdowns lately.
Yeah.
It
I
hasn't
threw
been
this
from inside
question
the
in.
zones.
You know, the funny thing is, I threw this question in just in case Jordan or somebody got up 2-0, just to kind of throw things off a little bit. And damn, did I throw things off a little bit. All right, back to you, Chris. What do you got?
Cleveland Browns.
The Cleveland Browns.
I hate my life.
Last
Actually, we're
3
going to
weeks,
run out
huh?
of teams.
Elio?
The last 3 weeks, huh? Your red zone defense.
Yes, sir.
The Raiders?
The Raiders. Wrong. Wow. I think whoever gets it right, I'm just going to give award this round. Damn, you guys are bad.
The next one hits, man.
Is
You're
it my
bad on
turn?
this one. All right, Jordan.
Is it mine?
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Is
I
it
think I might have lost it.
I gotta go back to the well of Russell Wilson. So we'll just go Denver.
Oh yeah.
The Denver
It's like Kansas City, though.
Broncos. What a great guess. All right, back to the other side.
All right, so no one said Buffalo yet.
Nope.
The Buffalo Bills. No one circles those X's.
Good Lord.
I've got it.
Freaking,
Go ahead, Jordan. What you got?
The Commanders.
The Commanders.
Didn't play last
That's why I thought it
Wow.
was the Commanders, Elio, because they didn't play
had a
last
week
week. I was
off.
like, okay, there we go.
I knew this was going to throw you guys off. I just didn't know it was going to throw you off this much. All right, Elio, you got another one? I mean, we're going to get these teams eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think
20
I forgot.
left.
Whatever. All right, so we haven't said. Let me see here. It's gonna. Anybody said the Detroit Lions yet?
No, you can go with those.
Let's go with that one. I'm just trying to eliminate teams on purpose here, so either one of us is gonna get it right.
Chris?
New Orleans.
New Orleans Saints.
The Sooners. There we go, baby. Time.
Minnesota.
There we go.
All 32 NFL teams between us all.
Oh my God! What is going on here?
This is
The Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh man, another great game. Man, I did not know it was going to be this hard. I really didn't. It really is. Whoever gets this
Ready?
one is
Jets.
definitely getting it.
Get this over. The Jets.
The Jets. Jets. Albert was in the comments section a while ago. I put it up there. It was the only comment I put up so far, and nobody noticed. So, hello. The Lions? Are you serious right now? All right. Look, it did its job. It's not a sweep. It's 2-1. Let's go round number 4. 2-1 to the champs. Let's see if they can keep it going. We're going to receivers, and I forgot who we even started with that wing on. Oh, we did. Okay, so this is Jordan and Dave from this one. Okay, I remember now. All right, so we're going receivers here, and we're going points in the red zone again for week 14. Top 5 answers on the board.
Jordan,
go right ahead.
Jerry Jeudy.
Kind of cute with a real nice booty. He was number 1 with 21 points in the red zone last week. Yeah. All right, let's go. Who else you got? Chris.
Devontae Adams.
Jordan.
He catches the ball so well.
He really does.
He's good at football.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, Jordan.
Zay Jones.
Zay Jones. Nice one there. Came in at number 3 with 8 points. Chris?
A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown. All right, Jordan. Can you pin the challengers here?
Jamar Chase.
Stop it. Get some help.
All right, this is it. Elio, Dave, can you guys pull it off? You got number 1, Jerry Jeudy with 21 points. Number 3, Zay Jones at 8 points. So you got number 2, 4, and 5 left. Again, receivers, points in the red zone last week.
You got something, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at you. I mean,
At least they have each other.
I did. I mean, I'll throw a stab at it if you have something.
Go for it. Go for it.
All right. So, okay, we have DK Metcalf.
DK Metcalf. Unfortunately, that was not correct. The answers were Deebo Samuel was number 2 with 8.2 points. Number 4, Richie James Jr. 7.9 points. Number 5, ready for this? KJ Osborne he was 7.9 points.
I am most shocked about Deebo because I feel like he played that game for about 7 seconds.
Well, whatever those 7 seconds were, must have been right in that end zone, baby. All right, congratulations to the champs. You guys retain the titles. And for our losers tonight, unfortunately, Ilio, you keep getting one of these. I don't know what's going on here.
Dumbass. Thank these. They call me dumbass. Stupid.
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
All right, let's get back to
I deserve that.
David. All right, man.
Hey, Elio does keep getting those, but I think it's because you keep putting him against me, which much like as in the trenches, you and him, y'all just can't hang with this. I'm just saying.
Wow. I don't know what he's talking. Yeah, I can't hang with. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, let's get on to the breakdown. Lions at the Jets. We're going to go to Chris for this one. Lions defensively dead last against fantasy QBs. They're 11th against running backs, 30th against receivers, 29th against the tight end. Jets 8th versus QBs, 10th versus running backs, and 3rd versus receivers, 13th versus tight ends. Give me guys you like and don't like. No Mike.
I think Garrett Wilson. You can start Z Knight, Conklin. You can start, but Zach Wilson is playing, so temper expectations there. Elijah Moore hasn't gotten as many targets from Zach Wilson as he got from Mike White. Goff has been great lately, but it's going to be very cold, and he doesn't do well in these conditions. I'd look elsewhere. Jets allow 8th most fantasy points to running back since week 7. This could be a Jamal Williams game. Swift looks healthy, though.
Yeah, I like that.
I like
Jamal
them both.
Williams call. Yeah, I like the Jamal Williams call. They're going to have to do something against the Jets, but like you said, I don't see that offense playing extraordinarily well in the elements. Ilya, let's go to you. Steelers at Panthers. Steelers 23rd versus fantasy QBs, 16th versus running backs, 27th against receivers, 9th versus tight ends. The Panthers are 16th versus QBs, 18th versus running backs, 25th versus receivers, and 8th versus tight ends. So give me some guys you like and don't like.
This is probably as bad as matchup as Jordan had earlier. You know what I mean? So
there's a few.
Yeah, but look, there's one thing for certain, right? The Panthers are going to run the hell out of the ball because that's all they do. I mean, they rushed the ball 46 times last game between Chuba and Foreman for 223 yards. So if you're going to look for a running back, pick one of those two. You don't want to go with Darnold as a quarterback. On the flip side, who's starting? Trubisky. So.
Right now, yet.
Right now, I mean, I think he's gonna be Trubisky. If we, either way, it's hard to pick. But if I'm gonna pick a player, I definitely like Najee Harris because he is coming up as of late. If you look in the last 5 games, I think he has like 4 touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 14 in the last 5 games. He's in. Even though he's been bombing all year long, he's increased his yards per carry about 4 to 4.34. So that's some solid volume right there. And on the receiver side. I love the upside of Pickens, but again, that passing game for Pittsburgh is bad, regardless who's a quarterback at the helm. So probably go with Deontay Johnson. I think he's due for a touchdown, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, he has 113 freaking targets this season, so one's got to give, and we're only half 3 games left in the season.
Definitely do, and like you said about Pickens, got a lot of potential, but I'm like starting to foresee it for next year. Quite frankly, but yeah, he's got a lot of potential for sure. All right, let's go to Dave for this next one. This is a good, interesting fantasy map. Cowboys play the Jacksonville Jaguars. Cowboys defensively 4th against fantasy QBs, 4th against running backs, 16th against receivers. They are numero uno against tight ends. Jags 25th against QBs, 21st against running backs, 24th against receivers, and they are 28th against tight ends. Not very good at all. What say you, Dave? Like guys you like and don't like?
Well, you kind of gave the information we need there. I basically like all of the Cowboys. I really like Dak Prescott this week. You know, I think he's going to have a big game. Although, you know, I was looking at his numbers and I was kind of shocked to see that he hasn't gone over 300 yards a single time this year. He's only got 3 or more TDs once. So he hasn't been the fantasy performer that maybe you'd hoped. I do think the running backs are both going to be worth playing in this. The Cowboy running backs, that is, with Tony Pollard and Zeke. I would roll either one of those guys if you've got them. And you're always going to want to start CeeDee Lamb. He's gonna be a big target in this game. And you mentioned that Jacksonville is pretty weak against the tight end. I think it's a good week to play Dalton Schultz. On the Jacksonville side of things, speaking of tight ends, if you were hoping for another 40-plus point week out of Evan Ingram, it is not happening. I would not play Evan Ingram in this game because Dallas is ferocious against the tight ends. In fact, the only guy that really I have high hopes for Jacksonville is Trevor Lawrence. I think he's been on a roll lately, and I would still like to get him out there. You could definitely play Christian Kirk if you're needing a receiver. You know, you might even throw a dart at Zay Jones, but I'm not really feeling it. I think that the running game is probably their best bet too. So I think I said only one guy on Jacksonville, but I actually do feel pretty good about Travis Etienne. So I would go with him too.
Yeah, they're gonna have to throw in this matchup. I think Dallas is definitely gonna put some points on the board. Whether they do it ball control style, as you mentioned, that's kind of how this Cowboys offense kind of rolled this year, relying back on the running game, which made them good prior. So like the direction that they're going in. So yeah, I mean, so again, very interesting matchup. I'm gonna play some strategies on both sides for sure. Jordan, let's get back to you, my friend. We're going to go Chiefs at Texans, another stellar NFL matchup this week. The Chiefs are 30th against fantasy QBs, 20th against running backs, 29th against receivers, 19th versus tight ends. Texans, numero uno against quarterbacks, dead last against running backs, 4th against receivers, 11th versus tight ends. Guys you like and don't like.
Pop quiz, who was the leading fantasy running back over the playoffs last season? Anybody?
Oh my God, I feel like I know this, and all right, go ahead because I can't remember.
Yeah, so it was somebody who completely did not matter this season and or last season, and actually, right as I said it, his name slipped my mind. It's the dude from Seattle that was out all season this year, former number 1 pick, Rashad Penny, number 1 overall last week. This is the Jerick McKinnon playoff push that we are on 2 weeks in a row. He's dominated. He needs to be in every lineup everywhere. He is absolutely the receiving back in this Kansas City offense that you want every bit of that you can get. So I'm taking all the Jerick McKinnon. With that being said, even with McKinnon going off, Isaiah Pacheco's still getting plenty of targets, plenty of rushes. So I am trotting him out every week. And, breaking news, start Patrick Mahomes. On the other side of the ball, Chris Moore balled out last week against Dallas. 10 catches, 124 yards. He was in my ultimate starting lineup last week. He is again this week. Spoiler alert. And Amari Rodgers, man, he had the best game of his pro career last week. So I'm looking at him in a couple of DFS lineups. And then I just want to add one more thing over to Dave Fantasy on the Cowboys and the Jaguars. Zay Jones, I think, is a sneaky start. Dallas has a really banged up secondary, and that's exactly why Chris Moore ate as much as he did last week. So I do think Zay's a good start there.
All right. Zay is very sneaky ad for sure. I do like it. All right, let's go on. We are up next to, I lost my spot here. We're going to Chris next for the Cards at the Broncos. Cardinals are 26th versus fantasy QBs, 23rd against running backs, 14th against receivers. Dead last. What did I write there? Yeah, dead last against tight ends. Broncos 3rd versus QBs, 14th versus running backs, 1st against receivers, and 17th versus tight ends. What say you guys? You like and don't like?
Well, I can tell you this: the only people watching this have children on the field playing. This is a bad game. Hopkins is going to be good no matter who the QB is. James Conner has been awesome. We even play him versus Denver. Hollywood Brown is just coming back from an illness, so keep an eye on that. Greg Dulcich is a start because any tight end who plays Arizona is a start. Judy caught 3 TDs last week. He's a dude. I wouldn't mess with Russ or any of the other wide receivers at all. I just stay away from them.
So there's a lot of them on this week that are like that, Chris. But we have some we do on Sundays sometimes when we get games like this. So I just wanted to.
Pillow fight.
The snore of the week. All right, let's go to Ilio. Let's go to one that's not such a snore. Patriots going to Las Vegas. Can't see Belichick in a casino. All right, let's go. Patriots QBs against QBs are 12th, 2nd versus running backs, 8th versus receivers, 25th versus tight ends. Raiders 28th versus quarterbacks, 27th versus running backs, 20th versus receivers, and 26th versus tight ends. So, Elio, guys you like and don't like in this one.
I mean, I don't think it's any surprise here, but Josh Jacobs, it doesn't matter who you play every week. That's a must start. Pencil in Devontae Adams, must start. Out of the 2 quarterbacks, got to go with Carr. I mean, I don't trust Mac for anything. So, therefore, I would roll him if you got to pick a quarterback out of these 2. From the opposite side of the ball, I mean, Ramondre Stevenson is healthy. You play him, regardless of the fact. He's the entire offense, all right? I think he has over 1,100 all-purpose yard already in the year. So, he's like their main offensive weapon. Sneaky play overall. I mean, Damian Harris might be out too. So, the running game there is a little weak. But maybe Jacoby Myers, if he comes back, he might get open. Devontae Parker, I think, gets out of concussion and he may not play. So if Jacoby Myers makes it back this week, which is trending that way, that's your sneaky play from the New England side. There's not much from New England offensive-wise, but, however, New England as a pick in DFS, sneaky defense, right? You know what? They made a nice little push last week. Put that in a couple of DFS lineups, and let's see what happens. Even in championship. I mean, you never know. A couple of turnover, boom, that's 6 points. So
yeah, I don't see Josh McDaniels out scheming Bill Belichick in this matchup in any way, shape, or form. I definitely see the Raiders having a difficult time against. Again, this is not a sneaky defense, Ilya. I just want to correct you on that. This is a really good defense. So I see them having a tough time against them. All right, let's go. Let's take a quick break. We got 4 more games to break down, but let's talk about some homer picks. All right, I'm just going to do it again. I've been doing it all year, so I'm just going to say it one last time. Last time I'm going to say it. It's America's team. We are going to run that pill this week because if we don't, we are going to lose. So, Raheem Mostert, get your popcorn ready. You're my dope homer pick of the week, and you better come through this time. Jordan, what say you?
As soon as I heard Cooper say that, I went, dope, because I hear it every week and it never comes true fruition. But what does is the Dallas Cowboys run game, death, taxes, and the Dallas Cowboys run game. We lost Terrence Steele last week, but now we've got Tyron Smith coming back, and word on the street is he's going to line up right next to Zach Martin, and good fucking luck to anybody trying to stop that. Give me Zeke, give me Tony Pollard, and if we end up benching our starters by the 3rd quarter, give me whoever the hell comes in after them too.
I like that, Chris. What say you? What's your don't homer pick this week?
Give me A.J. Dillon. I love A.J. Dillon. It's going to be cold. It's going to be snowy. He's just going to put the quads down and just put it in 4-wheel drive, and let's just run the effing ball, boys.
A.J. Dillon asked, when it's cold outside, girl, who are you holding? You're not holding me. Let's go to Ilio. What's your don't homer pick this week?
The entire offense of the New York Giants, Saquon Barkley. Absolutely. I mean, he should have a great game against the Commanders, even though the Commanders play good against the run. But I'll kill myself if we lose to Tyler Heineke, an XFL quarterback, after a tie, for a couple of weeks ago. So, maybe Daniel Jones will do his usual and run a touchdown in or there, or 2, maybe. But definitely Saquon is my home run pick.
Yeah, I feel you. I like him a lot this week.
I really hope you tie again.
Dave, what say you? What's your don't homer pick this week?
Well, I'm a Steeler fan, and the one guy who is the heart and soul of the offense is Pat Freiermuth. So I am going to roll with the Muth, and I would recommend starting him if you get the chance.
He's definitely been hot as of late, so definitely not a bad ad for sure. Say hello to, I think, is that your daughter, Chris?
Yeah, yep. She made it home. Yeah,
like you drive well in the snow. I mean, that's when you're loving life, when you're driving well in the snow. All right, let's take a quick little break from running our sucks for a minute. I'm like, I gotta stretch, man. And sometimes when you stretch, you flex too, right? You flex those muscles out. We got our boy, Fourth and Flex podcast, our boy Bandy. He's got his flex starts of the week. Let's check it out.
What's going on, guys? Your boy Bandy here with Bandy's Flex Starts of the Week. Guys, first off, I want to tell you thank you for watching Bandy's Flex Starts of the Week. This season, it's been an honor to help you win and get to the playoffs. Congratulations to all of you who made it. Let's get into it. My first guy that I'm throwing into your flex spot this week is Jerick McKinnon. Look, dude went off last week. Now, I'm not saying he's going to do that great for you this week, but I do think he's going to get you enough to get you where you need to be, and that is to the next round of the playoffs. Moving on to the next guy, I've got Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy. It's been a rough year with the Broncos this year. But Jerry Jeudy, another guy who did phenomenal last week. He got 3 touchdowns. Again, I don't think he's going to reproduce that this week, but I do think he's going to get you enough to where you need to be. And that is, yet again, the next round.
They see me rolling, they hating, patrolling and trying to catch me riding dirty.
Moving on to my next guy is Juju Smith-Schuster. Look, Juju has been up and down this year. He was down recently, but he's on the way back up. Throw Juju Smith-Schuster into your flex spot this week.
I'm Rick James, bitch.
Guys, don't forget to check out the Fourth and Flex Fantasy Football Podcast. Next Friday, we are giving away a Manscaped Performance Package. And don't forget, we got that Aaron Jones signed jersey giveaway coming up as well. All you got to do is be a subscriber to our YouTube channel, comment on our live video, and you are there. Thank you guys so much. It's been an honor and a duty.
I'll be back.
All right, got to thank our boy Bandy over at Fourth and Flex, bringing his flex starts all season long. Got to love it. All right, let's get back to the action and finish it off. Dave, we'll start with you with the Titans at the Chargers. The Titans are 31st against fantasy QBs. What happened to this the Titans defense? Jeez. 3rd against running backs. They are 32nd, dead last against receivers, 30th against tight ends. Chargers, 21st against QBs, 28th against running backs, 12th versus receivers, 22nd versus tight ends. So just give me some guys you like and don't like.
Well, I'm really excited about Justin Herbert in this one. You basically just laid that out there for me, too. So Justin Herbert, and I'm stacking him with Keenan Allen in those dailies if I get my opportunity to. Also, on the Tennessee side of the ball, King Henry, big day for King Henry. The Chargers don't like to tackle running backs. They don't tackle well against the running backs. So I think he's going to have quite a day, picking up some of those yards after contact and whatnot. I'm out on Ryan Tannehill. I don't want to play Tannehill unless I was absolutely forced to. Although there is one person in the Titans passing game that I would go and play if I need to, and that's Chig Okonkwo. This dude is coming on. He's had at least 30 yards receiving in 6 consecutive games. I mean, he's really becoming a thing. So I think he's a good start at tight end if you're not holding Travis Kelce or something.
Yeah, no, he's been the hot guy down the stretch. So again, you look for those guys that come up out of nowhere. He's definitely be one to grab for sure, no doubt about it. All right, let's get on to we got Jordan for this next one. Bengals at the Bucks. We got Bengals. They are 7th against fantasy QBs, 13th against running backs, 6th versus receivers, and 12th versus tight ends. Bucks are 14th versus QBs, 7th versus running backs, 13th versus receivers, and 23rd versus tight ends. So what say you guys you like and don't like?
This is that tasty matchup of the week that you gave me. So thanks for that. I got Jamar Chase in my lineups. Duh. Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, both banged up. I'm not trusting either one of them. Joe Mixon's scaring me a lot right now. He still produced last week. He's still Joe Mixon. You can't bench him, but he's giving away way too much work to Samaje Perine for me to feel comfortable with it. Now, I am also telling you, if you're in one of those teams, and I have one where I just haven't caught a damn break all year unless if it was a bone to my starting running back in that fantasy league, and I'm actually rolling out Samaje Perine in a desperation play. I think he's going to get some points. On the other side of the ball, I'm not touching Rashad White against this really stout Cincinnati front line. I'm not touching Mike Evans, 0 top 30 finishes in the last 5 weeks. Hasn't scored since week 4. I'm playing Chris Godwin just because I feel like if there's anybody in that offense that's immune to this downward spiral they're on, it's him. But I'm telling you, the Cowboys are riding this ticket all the way to the Super Bowl this year, and that's going to start with a first-round domination against NFC South winning Carolina Panthers because Tampa Bay is going to continue to go down this week to Cincinnati.
I was wondering where are the Cowboys? I thought we were doing Bengals.
They always fit in somewhere.
It's like the Kevin Bacon thing. It just comes back around, I guess. All
Blasphemy.
Right. Let's go to Chris. Let's go to the Giants at the Commanders. The Giants 15th against fantasy QBs. They are 24th against running backs, 10th versus receivers, 24th versus tight ends. Commanders 20th versus QBs, 5th versus running backs, 15th versus receivers, and 5th versus tight ends. What say you guys you like and don't like?
I mean, like Elio said, Saquon, he's returning to practice this week. Bellinger should see targets out of necessity, but I'd rather start someone like the guy I can't ever say his name, OKONOKWO, off the wire. And then and then you got Scary Terry. Could be in for a big day. 7 catches for 74 yards was his worst game versus New York. He's gone over 103 of 7 games against the Giants. Gibson and Robinson were both limited in practice all week, but the Giants run defense is great matchup. So Robinson at least is a defense or a definite start. This one shapes up to be a classic winner, NFC East game with more injuries than points. And then you got Heineke and Daniel Jones. I mean, well, another, if your parent, I mean, it's all their moms and going to be watching.
Yeah, not a lot of great matchups, but it surprises me that this is the one they chose to flex to the Sunday night game. So it's kind of thought that was funny.
New York.
Playoff implications.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Unlike any other Cowboys quarterbacks in the last 30 years, we've defeated the best one twice.
Hey, did we just skip over Jordan saying he thinks Dallas can go to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I did because I this is why I don't allow people to break down their own teams anymore, because then they come in, they're like, start them all. They're all gonna go. They're all gonna do great. That's why I was like, all right, let me just keep this moving. So I don't want to hear all this bullshit all night.
I gotta go get my future pick now.
We got one more game, and it's not a great one on Monday night. Let's get to Ilya on this one. The Rams at the Packers. Rams ninth against fantasy QBs, 8th versus running backs, 23rd against receivers, 16th versus tight ends. Packers 11th versus QBs, 26th versus running backs, 9th against receivers, and 14th versus tight ends. What say you, Ilya? Guys you like and don't like?
Can't stand Baker Mayfield, so he's starting. So he's completely out the window. He pulled one out of his ass the other day, and that's going to guarantee him a freaking job next season. So, on sneaky play, right? Something like dart throw. Cam Akers, if you are really struggling, on the some RGP run kind of tilt, right? If you don't have you lose all your running backs, you need to pick up something. I think he's like the focal offense point of the offense right now. He's running the ball well in the last couple games and scoring some touchdowns. From the other side, I mean, I'm still gonna stick with Aaron, man. You know, Aaron. Even though he hasn't had an MVP season, this dude's still thrown for 22 touchdowns and 9 picks. That's better than Daniel Jones, all right? So definitely like the running game. A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones, got to go heavy on that. And, of course, stick with the hot hand, bro. Watson, I mean, he's been scoring. He's been catching some bombs. Let's keep it moving, right? I think he's got to get fed those downfield bombs. So.
Yeah, I mean, I like Aaron a lot in this matchup. The Rams are definitely struggling, and it should be a big night. They just coming off the bye as well, so it should be a big night. All right, guys. Well, we're going to close out tonight, but before we do, we got to bring in some extra energy before we close out tonight to the audience. Let's talk about our ultimate DFS lineups. All right, we're going to go to our main man, Jordan, first. What's your ultimate DFS lineup?
Oh, yeah. I started with Jalen Hurts, brother, future MVP of the National Football League. I added some Isaiah Pacheco and some Miles Sanders. On the wide receiver side, I already told you guys, Zay Jones, super sneaky play this week, along with Chris Moore, who torched my team last week. Terry McLaurin, I'll be honest, he's who I could afford at that spot. But then I went to Travis Kelce at 7,800, got a little bit of Dulcich, and I finish it out with the Broncos against the completely inept Arizona Cardinals without Kyler Murray.
I love it. I love it. Chris, ultimate DFS lineup.
First, I want to start with the fucking play. That this is what we run as the Packers. Okay, you run through a motherfucker's face all day. All right, so now let's get on to the next thing.
Let's go.
Don't fuck that up, LaFleur.
Love it.
So I got Herbert versus the Titans, who have a great run defense, but terrible pass defense. So we stack Mike Williams, Gerald Everett in there. Derrick Henry versus the Chargers in his best matchup since Houston. And then Pacheco, likely get 15-plus carries. He's fucking cheap. I mean, he's a great plug in there. Texas sucks, right? The Lions are bad versus slot, and Elijah Moore's been good since White came in. But Chris Moore went over 100 last week. Cooks, Collins are out. They play KC, so a lot of passing needed. I think even though White's not going to play, it'll be fine. Olave is a threat to score 30 fantasy points every week. And the Saints defense is facing Desmond Ridder in his first start. So there you go.
I like it. All right, let's go to Ilio. Ultimate DFS lineup.
All right, I'm going to go with a 3-man stack of the cow bitches. So we got Dak Prescott, all right, Zeke at running back, and CeeDee Lamb to finish up that 3-man stack. I'm going to bring it back with Christian Kirk. Of course, I'm going to go heavy on the Cowboys because they're playing a real soft defense. And, of course, Najee Harris is one of my dark horses. I think he's really has excellent value at 5,700. Juju, another value player because, you got to find these. Tennessee is going to be a shootout from the side of the Chargers, and Mike Williams is definitely back, and they're going to torch that secondary. Regardless of Zach, the MILF Slayer being back, the only jet I want to put in there is Conklin because for some reason he will get targets from Zach. And, of course, let's close it out with the Broncos D at 2,700 is priced really, really nice and getting some nice value out of that potentially.
The MILF Slayer. That almost sounds like a wrestling name. All right, let's go to Dave. Let's hear your ultimate DFS lineup.
All right, well, it looks a little similar at the top to what Chris is doing here. I'm starting with Justin Herbert as my quarterback. And, of course, I'm going with the same 2 running backs. Derrick Henry is going to have a heck of a day. Isaiah Pacheco is a great value, 5,900. I mentioned before that I want to get Justin Herbert in and I want to do a Keenan Allen stack with him. So that's what I'm doing. I got Keenan Allen in here. I got Drake London playing with the rookie quarterback in his first start. But Drake's coming off a season high in targets last week. So I think that, he's going to be heavily targeted again. DJ Moore, he's a little bit of a question mark to play because of health concerns. That scares me off a little bit, but I got Miles Sanders. I told you it's going to be a Miles Sanders week, and I'm putting in Chig Okonkwo. in as my tight end. I got the Falcons defense playing against Andy Dalton in his 300 millionth start, but he's always good for an interception or two. So I think that's a good start there.
You guys enunciate that so well. I don't even want to try it. It's like one of those things I don't even want to try to say because I'm like embarrassed how it's going to sound when it comes out. All right, let's go to my ultimate DFS lineup. And I went up actually on my QB, paid a little bit up on Josh Allen against America's team because like I mentioned, the minute they left Miami, it was kind of written in stone what was going to happen here in Buffalo this week. So I'm kind of, unfortunately, not looking forward to this game tomorrow night. And I think Josh Allen's going to have a really good night, sadly, against the 29th ranked fantasy against QB defense. Zonovan Knight, I got in there. Lions are actually surprisingly good against the run. However, game script, I think, is just going to dictate Zonovan Knight seeing a lot of carries. They're going to try to keep this Detroit offense off the field. Weather conditions being cold. I mean, this is just all kind of a running game for the Jets. I like Zonovan Knight this week. Jared McKinnon, we talked about him earlier. Jordan already made the case for him. Same with Chris Moore. I mean, this guy's getting targeted. You want guys who get targets. He's a great value at $4,200. It's insane. Garrett Wilson, again, I'm not worried about Zach Wilson being in. I think he'll have a decent game still. This Detroit defense is that bad. Terry McLaurin's, we just talked about his lengthy history against the Giants. He basically owns them. CeeDee Lamb in a good matchup here, 24th against fantasy receivers of the Jags. Greg Dulcich, this is the play of the week. I'm sorry, and with tight end, I mean, they're dead last, and you got Russell Wilson, by the way, clear from his concussions, but he's not going to play. So what's going to help the backup QB is the big tight end. So I like Dulcich this week. And Chiefs at Houston. I mean, a lot of opportunities for this Chiefs defense to make some big plays with Davis Mills, loving to give the ball to the defense and some big sacks. So I like the Chiefs D a lot this week. All right, well, that will do it, gentlemen. I do appreciate you guys being in while I scroll down for the outro music. Don't forget to check us out on Sunday morning. You're going to wake up with TSS 8 a.m. And actually, let me pause there for a second because I didn't get a chance to let you guys let everyone know where they can follow you at. So that's my bad. All right, before we close out then, let's go around room. Jordan, we'll start with you. Let everyone know where they can follow, subscribe, get your good stuff.
You can follow me at TrueSerumFootball.com. Check out my articles there at PatriotSportsNow.com and at TSSFantasy.com. I'm everywhere. Get in there.
He is everywhere. And speaking of his tag team partner with the titles, Chris, what say you, my friend? Where can everyone follow, subscribe, get your great stuff?
Over on Twitter, PatriotsPod, at PatriotsPod, and www.PatriotSportsNow.com. Everything's there, podcast, all of it.
Go check them out, subscribe. Lots of great content from both these gentlemen. Let's get down to the great gentleman here below. Elio, we'll start with you. Get us know where they can follow, subscribe, get all your great content, friend.
One-stop shop. Follow me on Twitter, Joe's_talk. Go to the bio, click the link tree, and then you'll be able to check me out. All the platforms that my podcast is available.
That's great. I got to get a link tree someday. I don't have any of that. So yeah, we got to, that's the wave of the future, I guess. All right, let's go to our friend and follow. Make sure you follow Ilio. Lots of great content from him. And Dave, my friend, where can we follow, subscribe, and get all your great content?
You can follow me on Twitter at Dave Fantasy. I'm going to tweet out everything that I do with In Between Media and 4for4 Football, my written work, and whenever I'm doing my weekly DFS and wagering tailgate show. So
nice. All right, I'm going to hit the music now. It's time. All right, everyone, check us out Sunday morning. Wake up with TSS. We got Jay's plug of the week. We got Fantasy Jesus rolling in with his mass for Sunday. It's the playoffs. We're here to get you excited and ready to go. We appreciate you guys, and I appreciate our guests coming in today, filling out. Good luck in your fantasy matchups. We appreciate you, and we are out.
We're on a mission.
Right. That's because you have Mike.
We're on a mission.